Hi, I'm Aidan Rodley and this is Mainland Matters. This week, back again after another quiet week, although we saw some really good racing from Gore last weekend with the running of the Gore Cup and the listed Gore Guineas. We'll review those races very shortly, as well as looking ahead to this weekend's stakes race from Riccarton. But first of all, let's give you an update on some of those injured jockeys, and there are a few of them. First off, Chris Johnson. I've just spoken with his partner, Nicky Brown. Of course, he broke his heel and a couple of vertebrae in a flip at the start. He's going to the doctor as we record this on Thursday for x-rays to his back and to remove stitches as well. He's got his first cast off his leg, but he goes into a new cast for the next 6 weeks. And the word from Nicky is he won't ride anytime soon, but he will return. Probably not through winter, more likely that we'll see Chris Johnson back for next spring. Tina Kominyaki, of course, she's recovering from a broken ankle. She just had her hard cast removed. She goes into a moon boot very shortly for the next 6 weeks as she continues her rehabilitation. There's no walking for that 6-week period, but she is hoping for a return to track work riding soon afterwards, and maybe a return to race day in April. Sam Wynn, she broke her pelvis, a couple of ribs, had a compound fracture of her collarbone, so serious injury. That compound fracture required a couple of plates and screws as well. She also suffered fairly serious concussion, but she's back working with horses at the moment, and she'll have her next checkup next week. She's hoping for a return in April, basically once she knows that the concussion's clear, that her fractures have recovered greatly, but she's hoping everything does go well for a return in April. Daniel Bothamley, he shattered a collarbone in a motocross injury. He's got doctor's clearance and he's been back riding track work this week, so that's a good sign. He's hoping he can return for Southland Guineas and Invercargill Gold Cup Day on the 18th of February. We've got Brett Murray, who's had a broken tibia. He's returned to track work riding and he'll actually return to the races on Saturday, so nice to see one coming back. And the other one is Yogesh Achimar, who will head to home for the next couple of months, so back to Mauritius. So update there on the southern jockeys. Obviously we've got a fair few sidelined at the moment. Our thoughts with them all as well, and great to be able to talk to those jockeys too. And the feedback they've been getting from the racing industry certainly has been encouraging them to recover quickly and get back race riding. Okay, chance to us to go back to last weekend's Gore meeting. And first of all, let's take in the running of the Gore Cup. Now, I want to pick them up at the 1,000 metre mark because, as you can see at this point, you can see Wannabe in Paris out in front, trucking along nicely. And at this point, we see the winning move, basically, from Kylie Williams on Humbucker. So she strides up 3 wide, goes up and sits on the outside of Wannabe in Paris, who does really fight gamely. These two settle down to a really good battle in the closing stages. Now, I'll give you the sectionals as we watch them take this final bend and head for home. Humbucker, the quickest last, 800, 600, 400, 200, runs that last 850.18, which is a pretty good effort considering that he sustained it from the 1,000 metre mark. Had done all the hard work. At this point, you can see Wannabe in Paris fighting gamely back on the inside and only narrowly beaten. And not a bad run from Riviera Rock into third in this as well. Now, Humbucker had been talked about as a Thorndon Mile hope, but on the back of this win, Alice Winslow now saying that the horse will drop back to the 1,600 metres of the Group 3 White Robe Lodge at Wingatui on Saturday week. Nothing in it, obviously, in what was a really compelling running of the Gore Cup last Saturday. That was the forerunner to the feature. That was the listed Gore Guineas. There was certainly a fair bit happening. There was a sensational plunge on Elsie May, who was back from $15.50 when first opening, or around about that price anyhow, into $2 favouritism, with the favourite Redmond a late scratching around at the barriers as well. We've taken the running of this race, and you can see here at the 600 metre mark, Goldie's Chance now starting to work into it, comes into the straight 4 wide, and then staves off the spirited bid from Bolshoi Star there 1-2 off the fence, and Bissassi and Chabano, the pitman pair, into third and fourth. Actually, the next to the pitman runners, Kindred Spirit into sixth. Elsie May did make pretty good ground, but just from the position that she found herself in, she couldn't really pick them up and finish into sixth money. Nice ride from Terry Mosley. Nice win as well from Goldie's Chance. And that horse now, formerly with Robert Dennis, nowadays with Ross Beckett, will head on to the Dunedin Guineas on Saturday week as well, and maybe follow through that 3-year-old series. Earlier on the program, we saw Tiger Fire win the 75 1800 metre race. It was 3 straight for that horse. A stone bruise, according to John Phillips, has ruled that horse out of the Dunedin Cup, so he will now go to the Invercargill Gold Cup. Okay, let's look ahead to the weekend's racing, and of course the feature there is the 8th on the card. That's the Space Timaru Stakes at listed level over the 1400 metres. It's at 12 minutes to 5, already being programmed, and a few interesting runners there, including Times Ticking, who a couple of starts back was a winner of the Group 3 Spring Sprint out of Hastings. Race we're going to have a look at is this one though, and this is a 7th from Wingatui on Waikouaiti Cup Day on the 14th of January. And pick them up and see in front Jewel of Patch, who does again contest this race, and it comes in nicely on the minimum for trainer Henry Gillies. But also look for the run out wide on the track. Now this is the eye catcher and a super trial for the Timaru Stakes as well from Rock Sensation under Krishna Madhu, and really savages the line out wide. Not a lot in it on the line. Pretty good effort there along the inside from Jewel of Patch, and Rabina Joy was the other one who was right there when we picked them up on the bend into third money. So really nice program. Brendan Popper will take you through that program here on Trackside on Saturday. Looking forward to bringing you part of the Trentham coverage, and hopefully we do see some really nice performances through this weekend from the South Islanders heading into Champions Day. We'll look forward to bringing you the preview of that next week on Mainland Matters.
Discos don't open till after dark, and it ain't till 12 till the party really starts. And I always had to be home by 10, right before the fun was about to begin. Crowds of people lined inside and out, just for one